You open your eyes and you're in ancient Babylon. 4,000 years ago, you're a regular husband, and your wife just walked back home a little too late. Her hair is a little too messy, and her excuse is a little too rehearsed. In your world, this isn't an argument you fix with a long talk and a glass of wine. This is a trial, a public one. And depending on what city you live in, your wife might not survive the week, or you might not. Welcome to the most terrifying time in history to fall in love. Today you're going to see 3 ancient punishments for cheating, and the third one didn't even kill the body, it destroyed the mind. And modern science just figured out why it works so well. But first, you need to understand the world, because in the ancient world, marriage wasn't romance, it wasn't love, it wasn't—
We met at a party.
There were no parties, there was no choice. A wife was property, like a goat, like a field, like that one cow you traded your cousin for. Her husband owned her the same way he owned his sword. And there was no DNA test, no paternity check, no, let me see the baby's ears, those look like mine. So if a wife cheated, the husband could spend the next 30 years feeding, clothing, and raising another man's kid, passing his land to a stranger's bloodline, giving his name to someone else's son. That wasn't betrayal. That was the worst nightmare a man in the ancient world could imagine. So the elders made laws. Laws designed to make sure no woman ever even thought about cheating. And the first one came straight out of Babylon. Method number 1, the river. King Hammurabi wrote the first legal code in human history, and tucked inside it was a rule that went like this. If a husband suspected his wife of cheating, not caught her, not had proof, just suspected, she got tied up and thrown into the Euphrates River. If she drowned, congratulations, she was guilty. The gods judged her. If she floated, she was innocent and free to go. There's just one tiny problem. Her hands were tied behind her back. Try floating with that. You can't. Most women sank in seconds. And the worst part? The husband didn't need a reason. A bad mood, a jealous neighbor, a wife who burned dinner one too many times. Splash. Problem solved. The river was the judge, the jury, and the grave all in one. Method number 2, the Roman knife. Now we're in ancient Rome. There's a law called Lex Julia. And under this law, if a husband walked through his front door and caught his wife with another man, he could legally grab a blade, stab the lover on the spot, wipe the knife, and go back to dinner. No trial, no jail, no, let's talk about this like adults. Just stab and move on. But the wife? He couldn't legally kill her, because she was his property. You don't destroy property, you punish it. So instead, they shaved her head bald in the public square, stripped her fancy clothes, dressed her in rags, then sent her to a tiny island in the middle of nowhere where no Roman citizen was ever allowed to marry her again. For the rest of her life, she lost her name, her kids, her future. She wasn't dead, but everyone treated her like she was. She became a ghost walking around in a human body. Some women said they would have preferred the knife. Method number 3, the Mongolian shame. Under Genghis Khan, cheating wasn't just an insult to your husband. It was treason against the entire empire. And the punishment wasn't designed to kill you. It was designed to break your mind before your body even hit the ground. First, they tied you between 2 wild horses, 1 rope on each arm. Then they whipped both horses in opposite directions. You can imagine what happens next, but that wasn't the punishment. That was the ending. The real punishment came in the 3 days before. For 3 days before the execution, you were forced to walk through your own village every single day. And every person you ever loved, your mother, your father, your own children, had to stand on the side of the road and pretend they didn't know you. They had to look you in the eye and act like you were already dead. No tears, no goodbye, no last hug, nothing. Just silence. And cold stares from the same people who used to tuck you into bed. Scientists recently scanned the human brain to see what happens during social rejection. When someone you love rejects you, your brain lights up in the exact same region as when you break a bone. A part called the anterior cingulate cortex. Being ignored by your own family literally feels like getting stabbed from the inside. The Mongolians didn't have brain scanners. They didn't know about neurons or neuroscience, but somehow, 800 years ago, they figured out the most painful thing you can ever do to a human being isn't cut them. It's erase them. Make them invisible to the people they love most. That's a wound no sword can match. And that's why this punishment worked. Every villager watching learned the lesson without anyone needing to say a word. Cheat, and your own children will pretend you never existed.